Starting with the first game of the day with Team Vitality against Royal Never Give Up. Royal Never Give Up with as a big favorite going into this group. So I would say that this draft is in favor of Vitality, even though they have RNG has Uzi on a big hyper carry. I think that you cannot really match that carry power that Uzi brings in. So I think it's good if you plant a strategy in order to shut him down early, try to snowball, try to play aggressive, and be a step ahead of them. And besides the first dive on bot, that's basically what happened. I think that Vitality played a really solid game. I think that they managed to control, especially coming out of the laning phase. They managed to control really well the top side jungle, trying to starve Lee Sin, and at the same time managing to make some good picks on the Jack Troll Thresh. And obviously the game becomes completely open when Jack Troll makes an insane hook. They get a couple of kills there. Then the Rise ultimate is near perfection, because if you can see, the Sign goes through the wall while the rest of the team does not go through the wall. So he's the first one that is able to tank, and the team obviously has an easy time following up, getting an extra kill there. And even though the closing after the Nash was not as clean as it could be, there was still a throw here and there, they still managed to upset RNG. I think that this win throw them off into what could be a really good day for them, and especially for Europe. So moving onto the second game against Gen.G. Once again, a good test for them, even though Gen.G had already played a game against Cloud9 where they were defeated. So it seemed that Gen.G still didn't figure out their issues and was still not on the best shape. It was still it should still be a hard game for Vitality, knowing that these Korean teams are really well coordinated, and they can bring obviously always a good performance into the game. And this game, I think that they managed to have a good strategy going into the draft with a solid blind pick top lane both times, first with the Sign and now with the Urgot, and also guaranteeing a strong 2v2 matchup bot, this time Tristana Leona into Kai'Sa Braum. I do believe that this Braum was a bait for the Draven, because they saw that he picks Draven into Kai'Sa, but Draven into Braum is not the best matchup, since he can block the axes. We saw Vitality extremely proactive, especially around that top side of the map. I think that this Urgot pick made wonders for him. For Cabochard, I think played almost to perfection this matchup, managed to snowball his lead pretty well, and then transfer it as well around the map. I think that it was really solid the way that Cabochard was not only exploring and pushing his lead forward, but also coming to the team, since he was the one that had a big lead, going into mid game, roaming into river, getting river control. They were contesting the division around the side where Cabochard was, so it was easy for them to get, wouldn't say a man advantage, but on the 4v4 they had their strongest member against the enemies, against Gen.G's weakest member. So it was good for them to play around this side. So once again, a win Vitality style, not purely controlled, not with a lot of setups, but also attacking setups where these Korean teams are weak on, when they cannot rely on the enemy team giving them time while they are setting up for making the plays and for the Nasher. Now the only thing that Vitality has missing is to beat Cloud9. Cloud9 so far also comes from a 2-0. So looking at the comps, this is kind of what we see. We see that Cloud9 has a comp that really fast outscales Vitality, especially because their 1-3-1 will be unstoppable. It's not one of those, or not their 1-3-1, but their 1-4 will be unstoppable, since their split pusher will win against Vitality split pusher. Singed will win against Echo, so that leaves to be a win condition. But at the same time, Cyan cannot go on sides against Singed. Basically, looking at this Vitality comp, the win condition that I see is snowball that Draven. Make sure that your bot lane stays really far ahead, that the bot tower falls early, that you can have tempo advantage throughout the game where you are faster on the plays, which means that Sion singed lane and will end up early, that Singe will not have the possibilities to split push because you will be faster on the other side of the map. And the way that you can get this, or the two ways that you can get this, is first, getting your bot lane really far ahead, taking that bot lane turret first, making Jektrol free around the map so he can roam and get Shizuke also some more assistance and some more mid prio that after you can use to fake that you're going to the Sion side, making a 2 versus 1 on Singe so he cannot freely push or proxy farm whenever he wants. And the second way is denying Nocturne to get level 6 early, which I think he can do that with Trundle. But since we see the amount of dive potential that Cloud9 has, probably something like the Kindred, since we also are looking for comfort for Kikis, will be good as well. I still think that the Trundle pick is not necessarily awful, but for sure has a small window to be used, that is on invading Nocturne before his level 6. So Vitality starts out with a really smart level, or what could be a really smart level 1. They scouted properly Cloud9. They know that that Zeyzal is usually around that spot. What they weren't counting is that they wouldn't be able to one-shot the Shen and change CC in a way that he would just insta-die. That's what happened, so they just traded flashes for flashes. But it's not only that they traded, but they also traded the possibility for Sion to have prio early. And this reveals to be extremely important, because after that the whole Vitality plan was to punish that Nocturne, to make sure that they could invade him, that they could make sure that he was not getting the level 6 early on. And even if Nocturne is level 1, Singe is just too fast to collapse. Zilean is a champion that once he gets level 2, he can follow Echo no matter what. On that side of the map, it's easier for the team that is playing on blue side to rotate his mid laner to help because of the texture of the map. And once he gets the double bombs and Singe is coming but Sion isn't, Jizuke ends up dying and the Trundle ends up wasting his flash, which means that he can no longer invade. After Nocturne gets level 6, all the plays that Vitality can make are completely denied. I think that Vitality still had some chances to come back into the game, but after that invade, in my opinion, it became really hard for them to win the game. Their win conditions got denied by Cloud9. Cloud9 would outscale really fast. Nocturne was not delayed to get level 6. Draven was not snowballed, and now you have no way to avoid the fact that Cloud9 can just turn on the Nocturne ulti, put Zilean speed into Singed, grab the Draven, one-shot the Draven, and now you no longer have DPS, you only have the kind of assassination from Echo, but at the same time there is a Zilean with the ulti on the other side, there is a Shen, there is a Saya with the ultimate, so it's really hard for Vitality to teamfight. So basically that's my take on today's game by Vitality. I still think, and I'm still extremely proud, especially of the 3 rookies that were with me last year. I think that Vitality made an incredible job this Worlds. They were really close to go to quarters, but they made way more than people, including me, were expecting them to do in this group. And I think that it's only fair to say that Europe is completely proud of them, and they can come back home with their head high. And I'm pretty sure that they will do a phenomenal split, because if they can do this on their rookie split, I can only imagine what especially these 3 players can do with some more experience and with some more practice for the next years. I think that in order for G2 to leave out of groups, they have to just keep the style that guarantee them wins, with a utility AD carry, preferable the Jhin, so they can have a safe bot lane, delay the enemy team taking their bot tower and giving time for Wunder to basically scale and carry up the game. And if it is carry on top and utility on bot, I also think it makes it easier for Jankos to realize in towards what lane he has to play around. And I think that whenever Jankos does not have to be extremely creative, and whenever Jankos has a solid plan going on in terms of strategy and what their comp needs, and what their comp and their comp win conditions, I think that Jankos performs completely different than if he is on a perma ganker with some losing lanes that he has to gank in order for those lanes to win, because he has been a bit weak in terms of recognizing where the enemy jungler is and what are his limits in terms of his ganks. Obviously, it's not only Jankos' fault. I think it's also a bit of lack of coordination with his lanes, but quite confident for tomorrow for G2. I think that Flash Wolves will ensure the first spot of the groups with no issues, and I would say that G2 has around the 50 to 60% chances to make it out as the top 2. So that's it for today. A bit longer than expected. We had 3 games of Vitality. It was a lot to analyze. Anyway, if you have any questions that you want to put, if you can give me some feedback also towards what I should talk more, or what is more interesting for you guys, just let me know. I'm reading the comments on YouTube and also on Twitter, so I also appreciate a lot the feedback that was given, especially from the last video. That was it, so see you guys tomorrow.